In 2025, if you're not running the top 8 Klaviyo flows, you're leaving thousands, if not millions on the table. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact flows we use at Magicianly to generate consistent automated revenue for our clients, including 7, 8 and 9-figure e-commerce brands. These are the core email flows that drive 80% of the results, from welcome sequences to cart recovery and everything in between. By the end, we will have a step-by-step guide on how to set up these high-converting Klaviyo flows, so you can grow your revenue on autopilot in 2025. Whether you're just starting or scaling, these proven strategies will take your email marketing to the next level. But first, why is this so important? Having these email flows is crucial because they turn your email marketing into a predictable revenue generating machine. Instead of relying solely on paid ads or one-off campaigns, these flows are working for you behind the scenes to engage your audience, recover lost sales, and to build lasting customer relationships. So they're automated, they're scalable, and designed to nurture your customers at every stage of the customer journey. So it will maximize your revenue without extra effort. Once they're set up, they will generate revenue for your brand in the upcoming weeks, months, and years to come. And you may have noticed this yourself already, but e-commerce in 2025 is not the same as in 2020 and before that. The modern customer is cautious. So most of your website visitors won't make a purchase on the first visit or even the second, simply because they don't know who you are yet. So trust is the cornerstone of any transaction, and gaining it isn't straightforward in today's marketplace. Today's customers are cautious. And why is that? Because every single day there's a new e-commerce brand popping up with a new flashy thing that a customer potentially wants. And in this crowded market, shoppers love to explore. So they're always comparing you versus your competitors. And you need to make sure that you stand out and that they feel that your brand is trustworthy enough to actually buy from you. So to win them over, you have to do more than just showing up in front of them. So this is typically what we see on the crowded market. You have the customer, you have your brand, and you have your 4 competitors. And then the customer is asking, hey, who do I pick? Which company is the most trustworthy? So you need to establish a solid reputation and demonstrate the reliability and the quality of your products. And trust isn't given, so it's earned through consistent, positive interactions and by addressing their concerns head on. Customers need to see your brand multiple times and in various contexts to start feeling comfortable with your brand and start feeling comfortable to buy from you. So that's why with each interaction that you have with this potential customer, you have to make sure that you're overcoming their objections. And you need to build the credibility for them to do the purchase. And I can already see you thinking, paid ads can do that, right? Yes, of course, paid ads can do this. But you also know that paid ads is like super expensive. So the high ad costs are eating into your profit margins. So that's making paid ads less appealing for budget conscious brands. And let's be honest, most brands are budget conscious in 2025. So what would be a better marketing channel to build a trust with the modern customer? Email. Why? Because you can reach nearly everyone with over 4 billion users worldwide and more than 90% of the US population checking their inbox every single day. And email marketing is way cheaper than doing paid ads. So that means that the return on investment is also way higher. So on average, for every dollar spent on email marketing, you can expect a return of $44 compared to just $2 with paid ads. So you can see the difference between paid ads and email marketing. And don't get me wrong, this isn't a video where I blame paid ads of everything. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do paid ads, because paid ads is still very important for the growth of your e-commerce brand. But you have to make sure that you use paid ads to get traffic to your store and then let email marketing do the heavy lifting and nurturing your potential customers into a first-time buyer and to a recurring customer. And that's where email flows are coming in. And I can see you thinking, yeah, but I already got my email flow set up. And of course, that's great, but let's be honest, your flows are probably only 2 to 4 emails long and haven't been touched in months, maybe even years, right? Well, I can tell you, short, outdated flows don't nurture your audience enough to drive real conversions. The outdated strategies from 2023 and before that aren't working anymore. So if your email flows aren't optimized with fresh, battle-tested strategies actually work in 2025, you're leaving revenue on the table. Plus, outdated emails can create a disconnect with your audience, making your brand feel out of touch. So that's why in this video, I will show you how to make longer, smarter flows that actually convert and grow your revenue. So first, in case you don't know, what are flows? So flows basically are automated email sequences triggered by specific customer actions or milestones. So things like signing up, abandoning a cart, or making a purchase. And these emails work in the background to nurture your audience, to address objections, and to guide them towards a purchase without you having to lift a finger. So you can think of flows as a 24/7 sales team delivering the right message at the right time. And which flows do you need? So before you get distracted by hyper-specific or overly complicated flows, let's focus on the foundation. The truth is that advanced flows might sound impressive, but they rarely deliver the same return on investment as mastering the basics and the essential flows. So that's why I always advise to stick to the core 8 email flows, since these will drive the majority of your revenue and make sure that they're optimized to perform at the best level. So when you do these flows well, you'll see results that far surpass spending time on niche flows that don't move the needle. And trust me, I see this go wrong often. So here are the core 8 flows that we'll discuss in this video. We've got the welcome series flow, site abandonment, browse abandonment, cart abandonment, checkout abandonment, post-purchase, customer win-back, and sunset unengaged. Let's start with the welcome series flow. So what is the welcome series flow? So the welcome series flow is an automated email sequence sent to new subscribers after they sign up to your email list. So if you're doing email marketing good, you'll have a pop-up sign-up form, and this will be linked to this welcome series flow. So this flow acts as a first touch point, introducing them to your brand, building trust, and to encourage them to do their first purchase. So this flow will set the tone with your new subscriber. And when you're doing this well, you'll turn curiosity into loyalty. So why do you need this flow? Well, acquiring traffic is expensive, as we discussed before with paid ads, and most visitors don't purchase on the first visit, as we already discussed. So this welcome series flow will maximize your return on investment on paid ads by nurturing new subscribers, by overcoming their hesitations, and by driving conversions. So how does a good welcome series look like? Let's take a look at this outline. So first of all, we got the flow trigger when someone is added to your main list. Most of the time, that's the newsletter list. Then we have a few flow filters in place. So placed order 0 times in starting this flow, and started checkout 0 times in starting this flow. So this will make sure that if someone has started checkout or has done a purchase, this person won't receive the rest of this flow, because that would be annoying. And then the exact outline, what I recommend. So we got email 1, where we're going to give the discount code that we promised them in the sign-up form. We're going to show 1 to 3 bestsellers. We're going to show some social proof and the risk reversals to build that trust, to make this person feel confident to do that first purchase. Then 1 day later, we're going to check if this person has opened email 1. If they haven't, we're going to resend exact same email, but with a new subject line and new preview text. And then 1 day later, we're going to continue with email 2. This email, we're going to share the brand story. So a personal brand story of the founder, so a personal message. We're going to highlight the brand USPs. And of course, we're going to send a reminder of the discount code that we shared in email 1. Again, 1 day later, we have email 3. This is going to be email around social proof, aka testimonials. So we're going to give a reminder of the discount code again. We want to share 1 to 3 reviews. Make sure that those reviews highlight the specific pain points that your audience has, and how this product has solved these pain points. And if you have any press mentions, this is also a good moment to show those press mentions, especially if these are high authority companies. 1 day later, we want to send a new email with a new angle. And in this case, we want to highlight a bestseller or multiple bestsellers if that's applicable to your brand. We want to focus on the product benefits and the features. And of course, we want to send a reminder of the discount code that we gave them in email 1. Email 5 is going to be sent 2 days later. And in this email, we're going to focus on the brand USPs. So again, we want to send a reminder of the discount code, but this time with the 48-hour deadline. Make sure this is a real deadline. So don't use a discount code like welcome 10, because then people know that this discount code is not expiring. And in this email, we want to make sure that we highlight the brand USPs. So why should people buy from you and not from one of your competitors? And you can even do this with a direct comparison between you and one of your competitors. 2 days later, we want to send a new email, and in this case with a new offer, because after 5 emails, if they haven't converted, it might be that the first offer wasn't that interesting for them. That's why with this email, we want to give them a new offer. And again, with a 48-hour deadline. And again, this should be a real deadline. So this is a pretty simple email. You just want to sprinkle in some extra social proof. So user-generated content and reviews. And 1 day later, we want to send the last email of the sequence for now, where we're going to highlight the discount code again, but now with a 24-hour deadline. So use a lot of urgency and sprinkle in some risk reversals. So things like a money-back guarantee, free shipping, free returns, etc. Anything that you have that you can use to make sure that people don't feel like this order is a risk to them. So how does a welcome series email look like? So here's some examples. So in here's the Honeydew, the first email, welcome to Honeydew Sleep. Here's 10% off your first order. Use code with a call to action button. We highlight some products, the bestsellers, as you can see, so the customer favorite. We added some social proof with a quote from a medical professional, and we end the email with We've Got Your Back, and we talk about 60-night risk-free trial. Again, a reminder of the discount code and a quote from Forbes in this case. Another example from Zipit, so Brighten School Days with top Zipit picks. So in this case, I'm going to highlight the bestsellers. So short and snappy body copy, and then simply reminding them of the bestsellers for this brand. And then at the end, we highlight the discount code with a big call to action button and some brand USPs in the footer area in here. Another example from TSRT. So 30% off your first order, use code. Shop now button with some micro copy underneath it. So rated 4.9 out of 5. We have some body copy in here where we remind them of the discount code again and not sure where to begin. And in that case, we give them some recommendations on where to start. In this case, their tea journey. And then we have the footer bar in here with some brand USPs and also some product categories to make it as easy as possible for people to find the product that they want. So how do you set up this flow in Klaviyo? Let me show you. So in your Klaviyo account, in the left menu, you're clicking on flows. Then in the top right corner, you're going to hit create flow. Then we're going to select build your own. I'm going to call this welcome series test. Hit create flow. Now we need to select a trigger. In this case, it's added to list. And then you have to select the list that you have linked to your sign up form. In this case, newsletter. Then we're going to set up the profile filters. So place order 0 times since starting this flow and checkout started 0 times since starting this flow. There you go. Confirm and save. And now we can add email 1 because we don't want to have a time delay. We want to send this email immediately when someone is signing up for a newsletter. And this is how you can set up the welcome series flow. Next up is the site abandonment flow. So the site abandonment flow is an automated email sequence that we send to people who have visited your website, but not a product page. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. So they have been active on the website, but not on the product page. So as you can imagine, this person will be very early in the customer journey. So that's why in this sequence, we don't want to send a ton of emails and want to keep it very lighthearted. And we basically want to act as a form of a shop assistant. So why do you need this flow? So most visitors on your website don't take action right away, especially if they're unsure where to start or if they feel like overwhelmed by choices. So without a follow-up, these potential customers are likely to forget about your brand entirely. So the site abandonment flow keeps your store top of mind, guiding hesitant visitors back to your store and closer towards the purchase. So even a small increase in conversions from this flow can have a significant impact on your revenue. And I see all the time that brands are missing out on this flow. And while the conversion rate is not like super significant, over time it will add up and it will generate a nice amount of revenue for your brand. So what's inside the site abandonment flow? So it's just one email that you can send 1 to 3 hours after someone has been active on your website. And again, you have to act as a shop assistant and guide them towards different collections or highlight your bestsellers or new arrivals. Kind of depends on your needs and your brand, what makes the most sense. And the only goal with this flow is that we want to guide people towards a collection page or towards a product page. So this is the flow outline. We have the flow filter, which is going to be active on site. We're going to have some flow filters, placed order 0 times since starting this flow, checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, added to cart 0 times since starting this flow, viewed product 0 times since starting this flow, and has not been in the flow in the last 30 days. And then want to wait 1 to 3 hours. And then want to send one email where we're going to act as their shop assistant. So can I help you guide towards different collections or show bestsellers / new arrivals? So how do you set up this flow in Klaviyo? Let me show you. So again, in your Klaviyo account, we're going to flows, hit create flow. Then we're going to build our own and let's call this site abandonment test, hit create flow. So then we have to select the trigger. So in this case, that's going to be active on site. So we're going to your metrics, API, active on site. Then we're going to add some profile filters in here. So these are going to make sure that if someone further in the customer journey that they won't receive this flow. So when they place an order, when they started the checkout, when they've added an item to their cart, when they've viewed a product on your website. In all these situations, we'll make sure that people won't receive this flow because in that case, we have specific other flows for them in place. And what you also want to do has not been in this flow in the last 30 days. So this will make sure that if someone is visiting your website today and also in like a few days, they won't receive this email again because then it might feel like a spam email. So that's of course something we don't want. So I'm going to hit save again, confirm and save. There you go. Now we're going to add a time delay in here. So I would recommend anywhere between 1 to 3 hours. So make sure to split test that. In this example, let's use 3 hours. In general, the rule of thumb is that the closer towards the purchase, the smaller the time delay delay is. So with a site abandonment, it might be 3 hours. With a checkout abandonment, you might go for like 30 minutes or maybe even 15 minutes. Now we're going to add the email, so email 1 in here, and that's how you build the site abandonment flow inside Klaviyo. Then some email examples of the site abandonment flow. So we see an example for Magic Linen here, where we say explore the enchanting world of Magic Linen with a call to action button, short body copy, and then your new favorite linens. And then we highlight the different collections, in this case, bedding, clothing, loungewear, and curtains. Another example, what you see in here is from Aesthetic, loss and treatment choices, discover solutions, crafted for every skin need, discover now. And then over here, we have like the different collections. So hyperpigmentation, age management, acne, sensitive skin, etc., etc. And then we end the email with schedule expert guidance today. Next up is the browse abandonment flow. So again, the browse abandonment flow is an automated email sequence. In this case, it will be triggered when someone is viewing a product page, but have not added this product to their cart. So they're one step closer in the customer journey. And with this flow, we simply want to remind them of the product that they've viewed on your website. So it's a chance to re-engage potential buyers who showed interest but didn't take the next step. So we want to guide them towards a purchase. So these are the typical window shoppers. They're watching one of your products, they're watching the products of your competitors, and now they have to make a decision. So that's why you need to have this flow in place, because then you're reminding them of their product, your competitors are not, which will give you an advantage, and they're more likely to buy from you instead of one of your competitors. Because let's face it, 98% of the first-time visitors leave your website without buying anything. So there's a lot of potential revenue slipping through the cracks. So the browse abandonment flow is designed to bring those visitors back by building trust and addressing their objections. So we want to make sure that we send personalized follow-ups, which will make your emails more relevant and more engaging. And even a small increase in conversions can significantly impact your bottom line. Plus, it will keep your brand top of mind for future purchases. So what is the flow outline that we would recommend? So first of all, we got the flow trigger, which is going to be viewed product. And we're going to have a few flow filters in place. Place order, checkout started, and added to cart 0 times since starting this flow and has not been in the flow in the last 3 days. So again, these flow filters will make sure that if someone is one step further in the customer journey, they won't receive this flow, because in that case, they will be triggered by another flow. And then in sequence, so we have email 1, which is going to be a simple reminder of the product that they viewed. So just a light-hearted message. Email 2, 1 day later, it's going to build trust. So want to show risk reversals or reviews if you don't have like really strong risk reversals, things like a free trial and money back guarantee, free shipping, free returns, stuff like that. So email 3 is going to share even more trust. So in this case, I want to focus on reviews. If you haven't shared them in email 2, if you already shared reviews in email 2, email 3, you can use user-generated content or stuff like that. Then we have email 4. In this case, after 3 emails, we haven't used a discount. People haven't converted yet. Now's the time to give a discount code or something like free shipping. And make sure to give a 48-hour deadline, because you have to give people a reason to buy now. If you don't have a deadline, there's no real reason for people to actually buy right now. And 1 day later, we want to send them a reminder of the discount code, but now with the urgency, 24 hours left. In this case, I like to go with a plain text email from the founder, because it makes it way more personal and the deliverability of this email is way better. So you have more chance that this email will land in the primary inbox, which will give you a higher open rate, more eyes on the email, more conversion. So some examples for this flow. An example in here you see for SpySpots, still thinking about it, return to store now. A short body copy with a dynamic product block that shows them the exact product that they've viewed on your website with a call to action button. And then we also say you might like these, where we use the Klaviyo product feed to load in 4 recommended products based on the product that they've already viewed. And then we also have the footer area, which is a universal thing with the brand USPs, things like free delivery, a rated 4.9 and 100% natural, no fillers. And then we also highlight the different product categories in the footer area as well. Because if they haven't found the exact product category that they like in the main email, if they scroll down all the way down, that's a nice extra opportunity for them to find the specific category that they're interested in. Another example in here from Smoko, feeling on the fence. So in this case, we share some risk reversals and why people should buy from Smoko. Continue browsing, we highlight the dynamic product block in here with the product that they viewed. Take another look, call to action button, and then we say your order is 100% risk-free, and then we go a bit more in depth on why people should buy from you. So free delivery, made in the UK, and up to 80% cheaper than smoking, and then another call to action button. Stirker, so in this case we start the email with a testimonial and then shop Stirker. View your next challenge with a dynamic product block again, a shop now button underneath, and then we highlight 2 reviews as you can see in here with specific products, and then we have the footer area where we say free UK delivery, we have some brand USPs, and we have the product categories in here to make it as easy as possible for people to find the product that they want. So how do you set up this flow in Klaviyo? Let me show you. So again, we're going to flows in the left menu. Then we're going to hit create flow. In the top right corner, we're going to select build your own, and we're going to call this browse abandonment test, hit create flow. Then we're going to select the trigger again, in this case viewed product, profile filters. So we're going to make sure that if someone has done a purchase, they won't receive this flow or the rest of the flow. And same for if someone has started the checkout and when someone has added a product to their cart. And we also want to make sure that if someone has been in this flow in the last 30 days, they won't receive this flow again to avoid like spam complaints. And 30 days, it could be that for your brand, it makes more sense. Use 14 days. So that really depends on your brand and your specific niche. Then we're going to hit save, confirm and save. Then we're going to add the time delay. So for a browse abandonment, I would advise anywhere from like 1 to 2 hours in general. So let's say 1 hour in here, close, and then we're going to add an email, and then we have the outline for this flow. And this is how you make the browse abandonment flow inside Klaviyo. Next up are the cart and checkout abandonment flow. So these flows are designed to make sure that we re-engage the customers who showed interest in your product but didn't complete their purchase. And these are two separate flows. Really important to keep in mind. So the cart abandonment flow targets people who've added a product to the cart but didn't start the checkout phase. And the checkout abandonment flow is focused on the people who did start the checkout but didn't complete it, so they didn't finish the purchase. So as you can imagine, these flows are really critical for your brand's growth. So as you can imagine, these both flows are really important to have in place, because abandoned carts and abandoned checkouts are one of the biggest revenue leaks for e-commerce brands. The studies have shown that around 70% of the carts are abandoned in today's e-commerce world. So without a system to recover these potential sales, you're leaving a significant amount of revenue on the table. So both of these flows are crucial. And on average, they will convert 10 to 20% of the abandoned carts into sales. And this is a perfect moment to address hesitations, because there's a reason why someone has added a product to the cart but didn't complete it. And there's a reason why people started the checkout but didn't complete it. So in these flows, you can make sure that you address those objections. And sometimes it's as simple that someone just forgot about it. This actually happens a lot. So just simply reminding them that they left something in the cart can be enough to get them over the line. And really important, I really want to highlight that the cart abandonment flow and the checkout abandonment flow are two separate flows that you should have in place, both. Because this is a common mistake that I see. People always think that they have the cart abandonment flow in place, but when I check it out in Klaviyo, it appears that the trigger is checkout started. So that means that it's not a cart abandonment flow, it's a checkout abandonment flow. And actually most of the people are abandoning the cart, not the checkout page. So that's why it's really important that you check it out for yourself and that you have both flows in place. So again, the cart abandonment flow will retarget the people who've added a product to the cart but did not go to the checkout page. Checkout abandonment flow retargets the people who went to the checkout page but didn't completely fill it in, didn't complete the purchase. Both flows are vital. You should have both flows in place for your brand. If you're just relying on one of both flows, you're leaving a significant amount of revenue on the table. So the flow outline, in this case, the flow trigger will be or added to cart for the cart abandonment flow or start a checkout for the checkout abandonment flow. And we also have some flow filters. So place order 0 times since starting this flow. And for the cart abandonment flow, we use checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, because in that case, if people did start the checkout, these people should get the checkout abandonment flow and not the cart abandonment flow. And again, we want to say has not been in this flow in the last 30 days. Again, this time frame can depend on your brand and your niche, what makes the most sense. Sometimes it can make sense to put this on 7 days or 14 days, for example. Then the exact structure. So email 1 is going to be a simple reminder because that sometimes is more than enough to get people over the line. 1 day later, email 2, where we want to build trust. So we want to show the risk reversals or want to show reviews if you don't have that in place. And of course, a dynamic product block. 1 day later, brand USPs. So highlight the benefits of your brand / the product that they've added to their cart. And we're going to give people a reason on why they should buy from your brand and not from one of your competitors. 1 day later, we want to give them some reviews. So some social proof to get them over the line. And it's important that you pick out reviews that highlight certain pain points or objections that people might have at this stage. And where in the reviews, people tell about, hey, I had the same objection or I had the same pain point, but now with this product, it has been solved. So that's basically the ideal reviews that you want to pick out. And then after 4 emails, if people haven't bought yet, now it's time to give a discount when possible. So this can be a percentage off, a dollar amount off, or something like free shipping. Make sure to split test different kind of offers for your brand to see what works the best. And with this discount, we want to make sure that we give a 48-hour deadline, again, to make sure that there's a reason for people to actually buy now. And then 1 day later, we want to send a reminder for the discount code, but now with a 24-hour deadline And what I would recommend is a plain text email from the founder. Again, because it's more personal, it has a better email deliverability, and it's a nice pattern interrupt compared to all the designed emails that people get inside their inbox. So some email examples. In here you see an email from SpySpot. So for getting something with a body copy and then the dynamic product block that shows the exact product that they've added to the cart. Complete my order, call to action button. Why SpySpot? So 3 reasons why people should buy from this brand. Another call to action button, and then we have the footer area. Another example, this case from Skull Shaver. So your cart's calling, don't miss out, where we highlight the free shipping on orders over 49 pounds and the 30-day money-back guarantee. So risk reversals. Then a dynamic product block that shows them like dynamically load in reviews. Complete your order now, shop with confidence, and then some more reviews in here and a call to action button, return to store now. So really simple, but really effective. Another example from Smoko. So here's why customers choose Smoko, return to my cart, your safe cart with the dynamic product block, a short body copy in here, and then reasons why people should buy from Smoko. So British made quality, 80% cheaper than cigarettes, 100% BPA free, and highly rated service. And then again, a call to action button in here and the footer area. So how do you set up these flows inside Klaviyo? Let me show you. In Klaviyo, we're going to flows in the left menu. We're going to hit create flow, build your own. I'm going to call this cart abandonment flow test with create flow. Then we need to select the trigger. In this case, it's going to be added to cart. And if you're running a Shopify store, make sure to select the new added to cart trigger. This new add to cart trigger has the Shopify symbol. So make sure to use this trigger because it's way more reliable than the old API trigger that we used before. So this has been a new update in October 2024. So definitely recommend it to use that if you're running a Shopify store. In this case, since this is a demo account, I'm going to use the API trigger added to cart. But again, if you're running a Shopify store, make sure to go to Shopify and then select the added to cart trigger that should pop up in here. Then the profile filters. So if someone has placed an order, of course, they shouldn't receive this flow. And also if they start the checkout, we don't want them to receive this flow because in that case, they should receive the checkout abandonment flow, which we're going to make in a second. And again, we want to have like a 30-day cooldown period that they won't receive this flow again. So hit save, confirm and save. Time delay. So we're getting closer towards the purchase. So we're also closing in on the time delay. So I like to go anywhere from 30 minutes to like 90 minutes. So that's what I would split test for your own brand. Let's go with 30 minutes in this example. And then we're going to add email 1. And this is how you build like the cart abandonment flow. Now let me show you how you can make checkout abandonment flow as well. So what we're going to do, simply we're going to the cart abandonment flow that we just made. We're going to the 3 dots in here. We're going to hit clone. And we're going to call this checkout abandonment flow test. And now when we're going to clone the flow, we have to select a new trigger. In this case, the new trigger is going to be checkout started like this. Hit clone flow, hit edit flow. And now we have to check out abandonment flow. And then we have to make one edit to the profile filter. Because in here we have placed order 0 times in starting this flow, which we're going to keep. But we have to remove checkout started 0 times in starting this flow because that's the trigger that we actually use for this flow. So we're going to remove this one for the checkout abandonment flow. So we only have placed order 0 times in starting this flow and has not been in this flow in the last 30 days. Hit save, hit close, and there you go. Now you have the checkout abandonment flow. The next core flow that you should have in place is the post-purchase flow. So what is the post-purchase flow? So this is going to be an automated email sequence designed to keep customers engaged after they've made a purchase at your store. So we're going to send this flow immediately after they've done a purchase. And this flow is important because right after buying, people are still in buying mode, as we call it. So they're excited about their order, but they might also experience a thing that we call buyer's remorse. Especially after 24 hours, this is something that people might experience. So people have done a purchase, they've paid, but they haven't got their delivery yet. But then people start have doubts on if they're doing a good thing with buying this item, so they're getting buyer's remorse. And with this sequence, you want to make sure that you reduce the buyer remorse, so you're getting less returns and less canceled orders. So this flow will help maintain their excitement, ease any doubts that they might have, and maybe even open the doors for additional sales by providing valuable follow-ups, tips, and support. So this flow is crucial because it keeps the momentum going right after the sale. Customers who feel cared are way more likely to trust your brand and to make repeat purchases. So this flow will reduce the buyer's remorse, it will encourage their loyalty, and it will increase the customer lifetime by turning one-time buyers into returning loyal customers. So this flow is not only good for reducing the buyer's remorse and giving them valuable tips, it's also a good moment to cross-sell them different complementary items or to make sure that they're coming back to your store. So the flow outline, the trigger is going to be placed order. Then we're going to have some flow filters in place. Placed order 0 times since starting this flow and cancelled order 0 times since starting this flow. So we have these flow filters in place to make sure that if someone has done a purchase but then cancelled it, they won't receive the rest of the flow. And also if they've placed an order and afterwards they've done another order, they won't receive the rest of this flow because in that case they would enter the flow again. And then of course you don't want to make sure that they receive the rest of the flow. So these are important flow filters to have in place. And then the flow itself. So first of all, I like to make a split between first-time buyers and returning customers. So based on the purchase history, you want to set a different email 1 basically. So we want to have an email 1 for first-time buyers and for returning customers. You can even expand this. So you could set a message to first-time buyers as someone who's done a purchase for the second time. And for example, to VIPs, someone who's done a purchase for multiple times. So you can expand it how far you want it, but at least make sure that you have a split between first-time and returning customers. And this first email is going to be a plain text email where I simply going to thank people for doing the purchase, for getting their trust. And of course, it's a good moment to try to upsell them on different items. So add a little text underneath where you say, hey, if you want to add something to your order, this is a good moment. Then a few days later, we want to send a second email. And in this email, we want to build that excitement. So we want to reduce the buyer's remorse and want to say, hey, your order is on its way. And again, you want to build that excitement. So they're excited for delivery, reducing the buyer's remorse. And optionally, you could cross-sell them different items because they're still in the buyer's mode. And now a few days later, it's time to make another split, now based on the product or product category. Because in the next email, we want to give them tips and tricks on how to use the product in the best possible way. This is something that I often see go wrong. People have done a purchase and now e-commerce brands are like, okay, they bought the item and good luck. But it's actually really important to show the people how to use your product in the best possible way so you can reduce the returns, you can build that customer loyalty because they feel appreciated if you generally care about them and give them valuable tips on how to use the products in the best possible way. So make sure that these emails are really tailored towards the purchase that they've done. So that's why it's really important to have like splits in place based on the product category or the product, because honestly, it would be a bad customer experience that if you send them an email about a product that they haven't ordered. And afterwards, we're going to have 2 emails which are optional. One email is going to be a social media push. So if you're really active on social media, you want to push your social media because that can be another touch point that people are engaging with. So this will help you and your brand stay top of mind within your audience ahead. So it's always good to push your social media. So there's another marketing channel where you can nurture them from to get them to buy more from your brand. And another optional email is that if you have a loyalty system, which you should have, by the way, you can push this loyalty system in the post-purchase flow. So again, this is really important because with a loyalty system, you can make sure that you're feeding the customer loyalty so they can earn points. They can use the points to do another purchase. So this is actually a really important thing to work on your customer retention. So definitely recommend it to have a loyalty system. And in that case, it's kind of mandatory to push this loyalty system in this post-purchase flow. And then the last email of the sequence is going to be a personal check-in from the founder. So a plain text email where you just say, hey, did everything go well with your order? And the goal of this email is that people feel appreciated so that you generally care about their experience. So also a good moment that you can get feedback from them on how you can improve your servers and stuff like that. And optionally, you can use this email as well to cross-sell them different items because it's been like 2 weeks after their initial purchase. So in your niche with your brand, it can be like a good moment to cross-sell them different items. And that's the flow outline for the post-purchase flow. So some email examples. So in here we see an example of a plain text email where we thank them for choosing Magic Linen. We highlight the shipping details and we guide them towards the frequently asked questions page. And we say, if you have any questions, you can simply reply to this email. And if people do that, it will actually be a good thing for your email deliverability. So that's why we always encourage people to reply to our emails, again, because it's good for your email deliverability. So it's a win-win situation. Another example in here from SpiceBots, flavor on the way. So we tell them what they can expect in terms of delivery. And we say, while you wait, check these out. So we recommend some products based on their initial purchase. And then a shop now button to end it if they don't like these products. Another example from Sealy, let's get social, join the Sealy party on social media. So in this email, we're promoting the social media. We're going to give them a reason to actually follow them on social media. So for example, want to win $250. We explain how they can win this amount. So how can you set up the post-purchase flow in Klaviyo? Let me show you. So in your Klaviyo account, you go to flows in the left menu. You're going to hit create flow in the top right corner. Then we're going to hit build your own in the top right corner. We're going to call this post purchase test. Hit create flow. We're going to select a trigger again. So this is going to be placed order. We're going to make the profile filters. So what someone has done, place order 0 times since starting this flow, and cancelled order 0 times since starting this flow. Hit save, confirm and save. Then we're going to add a time delay for the first message, which is going to be like 10 minutes. So in between those 10 minutes, they will receive a transactional emails from Shopify. So after 10 minutes, it's a good moment to send the first email from Klaviyo. As I mentioned, I would recommend making a split based on their purchase history. So I want to send a different message to first-time buyers and to recurring customers. So the way we can do it is with a conditional split. So we add it underneath the time delay. We're going to select the condition someone has placed order is at least 2 times overall time. Hit save. If someone has placed an order at least twice over all time on the yes path, it means it's a returning customer. If it's no, it means since the trigger is placed order, they've done a purchase for the first time. So that's going to be, the no side is going to be for first time buyers. So we have yes, returning customer, and we have no, which is going to be the first time buyer. Now you might wonder, okay, now I have 2 paths. How do I make sure that they come together again? So we can use this button in here, rejoin. I'm going to put it over here like that. And now the 2 parts are coming together again, as you can see in here. And then you can add another time delay. So 2 days later, we're going to send email 2. So this is how you build the post-purchase flow in Klaviyo. Next up is the customer win-back flow. So with this series of automated emails, we want to make sure that we re-engage the customers who haven't purchased from your brand in a while. Typically, this is anywhere between the 60 to 90 days. So this is just going to be a friendly nudge to remind them why they love your brand in the first place, because they've already done a purchase at your store. So with this flow, you want to showcase new arrivals, company updates, your best sellers, or offering a special deal. So this flow is all about bringing elapsed customers back into the fold. So why do you need this flow? Let's be real, acquiring new customers is expensive. So that's why it's really important to make sure that your current customers are coming back to your store. So these will generate revenue that are actually way more profitable for your brand. So turning a first-time buyer into a returning customer is way more valuable for your brand. So this flow will help you prevent churn by reminding past buyers of your brand and encouraging them to come back to your store. And this is one of the easiest ways to increase your customer lifetime value. So this will keep your revenue rolling without spending big on acquisition. So the flow outline for the customer win-back flow, first of all, the flow trigger that's going to be placed order again, but now I want to add a time delay anywhere between the 60 to 90 days. This really depends on your brand and your niche. Some cases it might be 120 days. It also depends if you're also having a replenishment reminder flow, which is one of the additional flows that you can add on. But typically anywhere between the 60 to 90 days seems to be the sweet spot. Then we're going to have a flow filter placed order 0 times since starting this flow, because if in the meantime between the 60 and 90 days people already have done another purchase, of course, then we don't want to send this flow to them. Then the flow outline. So the first email is just going to be a we miss you email. So we want to say, hey, it's been a while, we miss you, highlight new arrivals, highlight your best sellers, or highlight like any important company updates with this email. So it's going to be lighthearted email at first. Then 2 days later, we want to send the second email, and in this email we want to focus more on the new arrivals. So it's going to be pretty similar to email 1, but with more focus on new arrivals, and we don't want to give away a discount code yet. But 10 days later, it's time for email 3. You might wonder why 10 days later, because in the meantime people also receive your email campaigns, because if you're doing email marketing well, we're also setting 3 to 4 email campaigns a week. So that's why we don't want to bombard them with too many emails in a short time period. So that's why 10 days later, we want to send email 3. And now it's time to give them a discount, a reason to go back to your store and buy from you again. So give a good discount, since this is a person who have already bought from your brand. There's no paid ads involved. So you have like good margins on this person. So you want to give them a good discount. And what I always recommend is to use Klaviyo's product feed to give them personalized recommendations based on their purchase history. 1 day later, we want to send a reminder of the discount code, but now with some urgency. So there's only 48 hours left to use this discount code. Again, we want to make sure that there's a reason to buy from your brand right now. So really simple. You can even add some social proof if you want to. And then 1 day later, again, we want to send the final email of the sequence. And as you've seen with the cart and checkout abandonment flow, we want to end the flow with a plain text email from the founder, so a personal email. We're gonna give the discount code once again, but now with a 24-hour deadline. Plain text email again, because it gives them a personal feel. It's good for email deliverability, and it's a nice pattern interrupt from all the designed emails that people receive. So some email examples for the customer win-back flow. One example that you see in here is from Sealy. So miss us, let's continue this celebration. So shop now with some body copy in here and then cart that they have and then check it out. TSLT, we've missed you, here's 50% off with the discount code blurred out in here. Shop and save 50%. With some body copy where we remind them of the discount code again, urgency, so 48 hours, and then our recommendations for you. We recommend them 3 specific products in this case. And then shop now with 50% off to guide them towards like the main collection if they don't like these 3 products. And one last example for Seedspin, 50% off your next order, short body copy, the code, shop 50% off now. You may like these with some recommendations and a review to end the email for some social proof. So how do you set up this flow in Klaviyo? Let me show you. In Klaviyo, again, we're going to flows in the left menu, and then in the top right corner, we're going to hit create flow, build your own. I'm going to call this customer win-back test, hit create flow. The trigger is going to be placed order. I'm going to add a profile filter. Someone has done placed order 0 times since storing this flow, because in that case, obviously, there's no reason to win them back if they've already done a purchase. Hit save, confirm and save. Then we're going to add a time delay. Again, make sure to split test this anywhere between 60 to 90 days. It's already like a good starting point. Let's use 60 days for now, and then you can add the emails. If you want to know how to split test this, what you can do is create a conditional split before the time delay. And then we're going to select random sample, include 50% of people. And then on the yes path, it's going to be 60 days. On the no path, it's going to be 90 days. And then you can build out the sequence in here, and then you can easily compare both paths. And I'm going to call this 60 days, make it really easy to compare. And then after a while, once you got enough data, you click on show analytics, and then you can compare like the data in here once you've set up these emails. So this is how you can make the customer win-back flow in Klaviyo. And the last core flow is the sunset unengaged flow. So the sunset unengaged flow is an automated email sequence designed to re-engage unengaged subscribers who haven't interacted with your emails for a set period. Typically, this is 120 days. So it serves as a last resort to keep them on your email list by prompting them to engage or to update their preferences. So why do you need this flow? So inactive subscribers can harm your email deliverability. So if you send emails to your full list, that's not good for your email deliverability. They're making your email marketing results like less effective. So by using this sunset flow, you can either win back unengaged subscribers or clean your list to protect your email reputation. So this flow will ensure that your list stays healthy, engaged, and optimized for better open and click rates, leading to more revenue. So a really vital flow to actually have in place. It really is a last resort to make sure that either this unengaged person gets engaged again, or it's like a final nudge, a final message to you that you know, okay, this person is really unengaged. I need to suppress this person to keep your email list healthy and to improve your email deliverability over time. And then you might wonder what's inside this flow. So it's just going to be one plain text email from the founder where you acknowledge the fact that they're unengaged with your brand. You want to mention the fact that they can unsubscribe or update their preferences. And the only goal for this email will be to actually open it. Because if they open it, they're engaged again, they're in one of your engaged segments again, then you can start sending them email campaigns again. So that's the only goal of this flow. So no, this flow won't generate revenue for your brand. Then the flow outline. So the flow trigger is going to be added to segment unengaged in 120 days. And the flow filter is going to be opened email 0 times installing this flow, because in the meantime, if they did open one of your emails, then of course we don't want to send them this sequence. And then one day later at 7 a.m., I like to send them the first email. So again, a plain text email from the founder where we say, hey, do you still want to receive an email? Update your preferences over here. And then 5 days later, so they get 5 days chance to actually open the email. If not, we're going to create a profile property, which is going to be unengaged is true. So this way, once they have the tag, you can make a segment around this tag, and then you can suppress that specific segment. A simple email example of what this flow could look like, this email. So hi Magicianly, it's Melanie here, founder from SpiceBot. I just want to check in. It's been a while since we've been in touch. So if you still would like to hear from us, please take a moment to update your email preferences with a call to action here. And that's it. So really simple, straightforward. And the reason why I want to send a plain text email is again, because it has a better email deliverability. So there's more chance that this email will land in the primary inbox compared to like a designed email. So especially for an unengaged person, of course, that's a really important thing. So that's why ideally you want to make a plain text email for the sequence. So how do you set up this flow in Klaviyo? Let me show you. So the first thing that we need to do is make the unengaged segment, because without segment, we can't make the flow trigger. So in the left menu, we're going to lists and segments, and I already got the segment built out, but I'm still going to show you anyhow. So in the top right corner, we're going to create new, create segment, and let's call this Unengaged 120 days test. Select a condition, what someone has done, placed order 0 times in the last 120 days. Then we're going to hit this clone or copy button over here, and checkout started 0 times in the last 120 days. We're going to hit the copy button, change to end, add it to cart. Really important that you select end, by the way. Person has added to cart 0 times in the last 120 days. Hit copy button, change to end again. Viewed product 0 times in the last 120 days. Hit copy, change to end. Active on site 0 times in the last 120 days. Hit the copy button, change to end. Opened email 0 times in the last 120 days. Hit the copy button, change to end. Clicked email 0 times in the last 120 days. Hit the copy button, change to end. Person has received email is at least 8 times in the last 120 days. Hit the copy button, change to someone can receive email marketing, and change to end. So what I did with this segment is that we want to make sure that if someone has been active on your website, either if it's placing an order, starting the checkout, adding a product to their cart, viewing a product page, in general being active on your website, in all these cases, if they haven't done that in the last 120 days, they will join this segment. Same for if they haven't opened an email in the last 120 days or haven't clicked in one of your emails. So these are all like metrics to make sure that they haven't engaged in what way or another with your brand in the last 120 days. We also want to give them the chance to actually engage with your emails. So that's why we're also adding has received email at least 8 times in the last 120 days, because they haven't received an email from your site. Yeah, they didn't have the chance to actually engage with your brand. So you need to give them the chance to engage with your brand. So that's why we have this segment thing in here, this condition. And then finally, of course, we want to say this person can receive email marketing. So they are an active profile right now. So then I'm going to hit create flow. And then in the meantime, it's going to build this flow. But since I already got this segment, I'm already going to continue to flows. Hit create flow, build your own sunset unengaged test, hit create flow. Then we're going to select the trigger. So we're going to all trigger, add it to segment. And then I'm going to select the segment that we just made. So unengaged 120 days test. Profile filter, add profile filter. What someone has done has opened email 0 times since starting this flow. Hit save, confirm and save. Time delay, wait 1 day until a specific time of day. So I would advise 7 a.m. in the morning. That's usually a good moment for people to open their email in recipient's local time zone. Hit save again, close. Now we can add email 1 in here. Then we're going to add another time delay, so 5 days. And then we're going to add a profile property update, add step, create new property, change text to Boolean, and then we're going to say unengaged true. Hit save, hit close, and now it's going to create a profile property unengaged, which is going to be true. So this is how you build the sunset unengaged flow inside Klaviyo. And that's how you can set up the top 8 Klaviyo flows you need in 2025 to drive consistent automated revenue for your e-commerce brand. These flows are the backbone of every successful email marketing strategy. But remember, it's not just about setting them up. It's about making them work seamlessly together to maximize your results. And keep in mind, it's great if you have these email flows in place, but another important component of email marketing are your email campaigns. So you need to have a good email marketing campaign strategy to make your email marketing system work for your brand. And that's why I created a full course on how to craft the perfect email marketing campaign calendar and what kind of email campaigns to send for your e-commerce brand. So click here to watch it. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to grow your e-commerce brand with email marketing. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.